What is going on, guys, and welcome on in. Today we got POLITIS, the new hero. So y'all know the drill. The E7 live stream just came out, so I'm here up at 5 a.m. recording a summon guide. Let's go over her skills real quick, talk about POLITIS real fast, and then we'll talk about the 3 upcoming banners with her, the 4 banners overall. I got some interesting notes on your bookmarks, whether or not I think you should pull for any of these heroes, as well as upcoming stuff. So like I said, you guys know what's going on. Yeah, let's do a quick video, talk about all the summon guides and things like that. Real fast, POLITIS kind of came out of nowhere. She's the founder of POLITIS. She looks a lot like Bellion, the current ruler of POLITIS. We'll see if they're related somehow soon. But she came out of nowhere, kind of like Mui, Shu, and Melissa. Never seen her before in the story, but she's obviously a major player. But beyond the lore, guys, let's go ahead and talk about her kit and whether or not I think she is worth your bookmarks, whether or not you should pull for her ASAP. Because first of all, she is not limited, but she's a fire mage. Effectiveness imprints on both. Let's go through her skills. All right, first up, guys, we have Astral Guide. This is the moneymaker skill, the one that it's kind of her trademark, her most powerful ability in my opinion. It's the skill 2 passive, and keep in mind, guys, it seems like, I'm pretty sure that her 50% CR reduction is just always there. So if she's on the field, if she's alive, she's constantly providing like an anti 50% combat readiness for your team against your opponents. Does not stack, of course. And then the bonus is activates tranquility when enemy uses a non-attack skill. So very similar to Celine, which, you know, guys, we can kind of already tell. She seems like a very anti-cleave style unit, right? Anti-speed, anti-CR push team. She is very slow though. If you notice, her base speed, I believe, let's go back real fast, is 106, but with 30% CR push here on the tranquility after these are non-attack skill, she can cut, but I think cleavers could adapt and just make their units even faster. We'll have to tell, or only time will tell. More on the RTA specifics in just a second, but 50% is huge, just her being present. And then additionally, she will decrease buff duration by 1 turn. So think of like Cerise's immunity, or Cerise's debuff that removes immunity. And then like I said, she gets a CR push. So mage artifacts, Seer Ren, things like Abyssal Crown could be huge, because her S3 and then her S2 also hit, you know, 4 units each, 8 units total. Kind of crazy. Yeah, I think this is the best skill on her kit. Let's go on, see how it looks, and we'll check out the next skill as well. Here we go, right here. Only activated once per 2 turns. Next up, we have the S3 Starfall. Attacks all enemies with alien technology with a 75% chance to decrease hit chance and make them unable to be debuffed for 2 turns. So, guys, decreased hit chance and unbuffable are 2 of the strongest debuffs in the game, right? Very strong. Skill 3, very impactful if you land this, especially because she also, if her tranquility ends up going first, which it might, because that kind of feels like the style you bring her for. Her tranquility will proc and then she leads into a Starfall. It's pretty brutal. If she lands this, I think most of the time for the teams you bring her against, you pretty much win. So it's all going to be dependent on if she can cut with her S2, the CR push, and her combination of, you know, reducing enemies from CR pushing as well. If she lands this, it's very impactful, because you're most likely fighting cleavers. Take a look at it real quick. So here's the tranquility proccing in. Very cool animations. And then the S3 with a throne, guys, also Bellion. I like the animations. What do you guys think? Pretty cool. Overall though, like the fact that she came out of nowhere and you know, not a lot of hype around her. I feel like if she was mentioned somewhere in the story, there'd be a lot more, you know, maybe fans of her, just character in general. She is really cool though, and she's a major player lore wise, so you know, I think people will pull for her for looks, but we'll see in just a second. I want to hear you guys' opinions on whether you'll be pulling, but I'll give my take on it in just a second. So S1, very it's a good stun chance, is always very good. It's 40% chance, and then on an soulburn effect is grant an extra turn. Probably won't be too used. Like I said, if she hits a Tranquility into an S3, it's most likely means that's probably the end of the game. It's really relying on whether or not she CR pushes. This is kind of just an extra, I don't know, maybe like a counter style build. A lot of people used to run like counter Elena's, which sort of has a similar style. Maybe it could be a thing. Stun's always good, like I said, but I don't know. The soulburn, this is probably the weakest part of the kit. Not bad, but definitely not what you're probably going to be pulling her for, okay? I do like these little guys though that she summons or created, the little dolls. Animations are really nice. Stunning flurry there, always cool. Alright, so before I give my thoughts on the unit first, let's talk about her artifact real fast. Knowledge Seed. So it is a very RNG, 75% chance at plus 15, 100% chance at plus 30. Guys, that already kind of tells me, you know, it's very RNG. You would need max limit break for it to even be, you know, good, because no one wants to play an RNG game with this kind of artifact. Because imagine you want your unit to die and then it doesn't even proc. That's a real feels bad. On top of that, in my opinion, an artifact like this that, you know, only gains effect when you die. I guess the idea is that maybe it kind of deters people from wanting to kill her too quickly, because she could potentially increase your entire team with 2 turns of increase greater attack buff. 2-turn gap for your entire team is kind of scary. But like I said, you're fighting cleavers, and if she does die, I mean, the problem is you're already losing a unit. You're planning to lose. You're already on the back foot. It's just not my favorite artifact, especially because major artifacts are so stacked anyways. Abyssal Crown and Seer Ren, things like that, like on her S2, just like at F10, how rampant she is with those. I don't think this will have a spot for her. Maybe for future units, maybe like mages that kind of hurt themselves or something in the future, or, you know, only need to do 1 turn and then if they die, it's whatever. Could be great because there's just a lot of randomness unless you max limit break, and on top of that, like if you get the increased crit hit resistance, that's not great. Immunity can be amazing, evasion can be amazing, increased defense can be amazing, and then of course gap for your team depending on your comp. But overall, just lots of RNG involved, and of course, you know, your unit dying for it to proc is just not great. You're already on the back foot, you're already behind. So not my favorite style of artifact. Very interesting though, very lore fitting, and like I said, maybe potential for future use. But the fact that it's not limited, guys, let's go ahead and cover the whole thing. The fact that the artifact and her are not limited, you really, I don't know. I think most people should probably skip, and I'll go more in details on as to why, because it's not just her kit. But if you are planning to push endgame RTA, I think the fact that her kit is unique, fights anti-cleave, which is still very strong regardless of whether or not you hear. Top level cleavers are extremely scary, and the more tools you can pick up to fight them, like you know, people say you may just ban her. Cleavers will just ban her. Well, that's an extra ban bait then, and you need more answers. You need a pre-ban versus them. Extra help is always good because cleavers are super strong in the right hands. So I think she's a must pick for endgame RTA. Maybe she'll have some arena usage, guild war usage. I doubt it as much. I think it's really going to be for RTA. So if you're not planning to push those to high levels yet, the fact that she's not limited, I think you just got to save, guys. I think you skip and save, because let's go ahead and talk about this unit first before we move on to the other 3 banners. Oh, speaking of, guys, real fast too, her drop rate up. This is kind of scary. It's the first new unit we have, I believe. Correct me, guys, in the comments if I'm wrong. The first new unit that's only having a week-long run. I really hope this isn't the new standard, because I think 2 weeks to summon new heroes gives you extra time to save, try to scrounge up extra bookmarks, let people sort of test before you feel pressure to pull. So if this is a new rate up, or the new time limit, I don't think that's a great move by Smilegate overall. It could just mean though, guys, because here's what I'm going to talk about. It could mean that maybe we have some Valentine's plans the week after that they're trying to prep for, because they mentioned in the live stream, guys, just kind of offhandedly, didn't mention anything about the hero specifically, except that she will have imprints for Angelica, and Emil Angelica will have imprints for whatever this is, meaning it is a hero. Those units will imprint into her. I don't know if it's going to be an ML hero, a new limited Covenant red, green, blue hero. Just heads up, they did reveal more info that probably means she's coming soon. If I had to guess, it might be Valentine's. Even more reason to not pull for limited units, because in the roundup in just a second, we'll talk about Cerise again. Let's go ahead and cover the other 3 banners coming alongside with POLITIS. So we have Cecilia and Ludwig coming out first. Guys, this is going to be very quick. Cecilia coming with Rise of the Monarch. Cecilia and Rise of the Monarch are both very good. Cecilia can be good, I guess, in a lot of... She's a knight in PvE. You could use her. There's better options. For RTA, she kind of is in a much better spot than she used to be. If you like her, I think you can get very good use out of her. However, both her and her artifact are not required. The artifact is definitely good on faster knights. I'm going to be picking up 1 copy, but it's more of a luxury item. If you have limited bookmarks, there's other knight artifacts that work just fine. Yeah, her and her artifact, not must pulls, but she's probably the best of the 3 in the current state of the game. Ludwig, same kind of deal. If you really like Ludwig, you know, people have cleaved with him. It's tried and true. He's gotten a lot of buffs. Yeah, his animations are great. If you like him, I guess you could pull for him. My opinion, though, unless you really like him as a character, you got to skip on him as well. Time matter, definitely not required. I guess some people use it for farming. It's really a win more thing if you use it for PvP. Not required at all. Definitely weaker than Cecilia if you were going to pull. I'll go ahead and put up my pull list on the screen in just a second. And then with POLITIS after them will be Tywin and his artifact, which new leader or something. I can't remember the name of the artifact, but basically, guys, what it does, it stops soul gain, which people used to think was the end of cleave as well. Speaking of anti-cleave, like POLITIS. But so far, I've seen it used here and there. Not really the best. I don't think it's meta at all. So Tywin also, he could be a great early game hero, right? He's an ice knight, so if you need an early wyvern tank in raids, he does defense breaks and things like that. Very good unit overall, in my honest opinion, but just not meta at the moment. His cleave setup, especially with things like Flan coming out, not really required. Yeah, I think all 3 of these guys and POLITIS, you probably skip for, okay? Because I just mentioned the new Angelica kind of coming out. This one right here. They mentioned she's going to be coming out maybe soon. And then we have Cerise still unannounced. Also, guys, DN, still no announcement on DN. I think the DN dream is truly dead at this point. So just save for Cerise. You have to pull Cerise. You have to pull her artifact. Save. Make sure you have enough for them. 1 copy of her and her artifact. You probably want multiple guiding lights. Just save enough powder and then enough bookmarks for 1 pity. And then after that, you can look into getting one of these 3. But overall, none of them are required. You can get them later. POLITIS, same thing. Only for endgame PvP players, endgame RTA specifically for fighting cleave, like a nice counter pick. But yeah, save your bookmarks, guys, in my opinion, for all 4 of these heroes coming out. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching. I wish you luck in your pulls. If you do plan to pull, save the bookmarks. Come hang out with us on Twitch. A lot of y'all been stopping by. Always a pleasure, guys. Tons of content coming soon for y'all. I promise. And yeah, thank you again. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out, guys.